The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army.
All right, I want to bring in people who are talking. Somebody asked me to show my feet. We're not going to do that. You don't want to see my feet. If I showed you my feet, I would lose every follower I've ever had.
You might pick up a few different ones, though.
CA70 said, ew, no thanks. Yeah, no. I wear socks in bed. Let's just put it like that. I wear socks in bed. But no, man, I appreciate you coming on. Like, what's going on your show?
I'm just working on talking about Mitt Romney. So...
you haven't recorded yet.
Liberals, they're like shocked at Mitt Romney basically saying that he's going to confirm the next justice to replace RBG right before an election. He's like, well, it is completely consistent with precedent and everything. I'm sorry, were you here back in 2016? Were you here when they blocked Merrick Garland for like a year?
Somebody asked, who's the guest? I don't mean to cut you off. I want to tell everybody who you are. This is Jeff I did this last time. Last time we spoke, I couldn't pronounce your last name. Give me your last name again.
You're going to love this, Ben. We're not TYT Nation anymore. We're Waldorf Nation.
Oh, dope. Waldorf, like the Waldorf Astoria?
No relation. No relation. I wish.
Are you still with TYT?
Yeah.
Okay, but you just changed the brand to your own brand.
We're a network partner. Everything's the same other than just a rebrand.
Okay.
So
you know what I should do so it's not weird? I'm going to switch our positions.
What's that?
I'm going to switch our camera positions so that we could actually be looking at each other. There we go. See, now I'm looking at you. Okay, perfect. Okay, so for people who don't know, Jeff, you and I, we've known each other for years now, man. Hasn't we? Yeah, since we've both been in the space. We kind of got started at the same time. Did you get started around 2014, 15?
Yeah, about 13, actually.
13. Oh, okay.
Sporadic shows. Like sporadic panels.
Okay.
Now and then with a couple of regulars.
Gotcha.
I saw when you're small, up and coming. I was like, I like what this guy's saying.
Appreciate it, man.
Does a good job.
And you brought me on pretty early on. You know what I really suck at? Now this is if Tim Black is mad at me about anything, it would be the fact that Tim Black has brought me on his show several times, and I'm not sure that I've ever brought him on my show. Because you brought me on your show, but it took me like 3 years to I'm like, holy shit, I haven't had Jeff on. Because I don't do a lot of guests on my show of any type. I just do like ranting. And so sometimes I neglect to return the what's that? The kindness, right. It's never because I'm an asshole, but that does come off kind of assholey when somebody brings you on and you don't bring them back on. So
I get that. I mean, I just had Cenk Uygur on the show.
Dope.
Not too long ago. So I generally don't, but I have the same thing. I generally don't bring people on my show very often. I tend to like rant at the camera for a while and all that stuff and do the stories, but I could see how that could come off like, hey man, why didn't you invite me back? I mean, like Tim Black and I generally haven't had the best history as well. I should probably be like, hey, sorry about that thing.
Dude, because it's what happens though, and I have to be honest, like if anybody is ever mad at me about something, I probably earned it. Like I probably said something slick on Twitter, inadvertently stepping on somebody's toes, because it's just like we get real heated in this space. And the only people I really consider to be my enemy are conservatives and libertarians who are hiding out in the leftist circles like they're actually leftists. Those people. But anybody who's, but then again, like I run my mouth so much on Twitter that honestly, one of the reasons I'm starting to get in shape is because I talk so much shit on Twitter. I got to be ready to fight when real person. Right.
Well,
I am, just in case somebody wondering.
Lefty drama, right? So that that's the issue. Like you gotta avoid fighting with other lefty hosts, because really, like then you're right. The enemy should be the conservatives and the libertarians and all the people, the fucking Mitt Romneys of the world. What I mean? The Lincoln Project, who once this election's over, if Biden does win, he's going to turn. They're going to turn right on the left because that's what they do. Because they're not our friends, and they just the only thing that they don't like about Donald Trump is they don't like his tone. They don't like his tone.
Well, Joe Biden,
like the fact that he rips the mask
Biden
off
just said.
Biden
just said this morning, and I didn't want to cover it because I don't want to have to attack him. But I mean, you're here and you just mentioned that the fact that he's not a socialist, he beat the socialist, and I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, please, because we are trying. I am doing my best to help us get rid of Donald Trump. And it is not because of you, it's despite you. I have to work around Joe Biden to do what I need to do to get rid of Donald Trump because I think Donald Trump is an existential threat. But if he's out here running his mouth about what he's done to, to beat the socialists, dude, watch your mouth, bro. Watch your mouth.
Yeah, it's so difficult to try to make it. Like, I can't make a case for Biden. I can't do it. I can make a case against Donald Trump. And that's the thing that I try to do on the show all the time is to try to make a case against Donald Trump. I know it's people get tired of like, oh, Trump bad, orange man bad, right? But he is. Like, you don't understand. Like, if you don't understand that this is an existential threat to the republic, like this is more than our feelings on the left. You know what I mean? Because I get it. I caught feelings in 2016. I caught feelings in 2020. Right.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was super pissed off. Like, fuck the DNC. You know, I'm still like, fuck the DNC. But it's more like, fuck the DNC. Yeah. You know, it's not one of those things where it's like, all right, that's it. I'm gonna go green. No, I can't do that.
What I'm doing, the way I'm posing it is, this is an armistice. This is a temporary cessation of hostilities so that we can fight a common enemy. But on November 4th,
right,
we're right back to where we were. I didn't like you before this. I'm not going to like you after this. I don't even like you right now, but I do agree that we got to get rid of Donald Trump.
That's true. That's true. And the way that I try to frame it as, it's easier to fight against, the liberals, you know what I mean, the centrists, than it is to fight against the fascists. Because who are the people that the fascists are going to go after first? They're going to go after the centrists first.
They're going to come after leftists first. Absolutely.
They're going to take down the progressives. Then they're going to go after the LGBT plus, Q plus community. Then they're going to go after the centrists. It goes back to that, first they went after the trade unionists.
Yep.
Then they went after the socialists. They went after the communists. Then they came for me, and nobody was left to fight for me. That's exactly what's going to happen. And that's what I'm trying to warn people about. And I know it might sound, hyperbolic and everything like that. But, I mean, you got Donald Trump out there saying, oh, I might just make sure that Biden can't run in the election. That's like fascist rhetoric.
Straight up fascist, bro.
We're fighting a fascist. We're fighting fascism. And, like, I feel like there's a section on the left. I know I said I wasn't going to start Lefty host drama, but there's a section of the progressive left that just doesn't seem to, like, want to admit it.
Yeah.
And to do what's necessary to fight against it. But you're right. November 4th, if Biden wins
or loses.
Won.
Yeah. I want to bring up this image on the screen. This is Winners and Losers. Jeff, Ben, this is Hank. He said he worked at TYT. He's getting his show started on Twitch too, gaming, politics, and stuff. So sure, man, shout us out and we'll bring you on and we'll come and cross-pollinate is what I call it. And I wanted to bring that first one up so I could bring up his second comment. Mm-hmm. He said, Trump's a bullet to the head. Biden's cancer. We have a chance against cancer.
We do.
We honestly do. That's the whole point is we have, and a lot of people like to say this, like, oh, Biden is still the same road to fascism. Well, listen, check me out. If Trump is a fascist and Biden is a road to fascism, we can always detour on a road, right? Like there's more time. Even if it's 6 months more, if it's 12 months more, then that gives us a chance versus Donald Trump, who's literally bragged about killing Michael Reinhold, who was a comrade. He's bragging about it. So that's where I am on all this.
Yeah. Not only does he brag about, that kind of stuff, he goes back to, I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
At this point, he probably could, and his followers would be all right with it.
At this point, he already bragged about, he said, actually, I have the clip. I'm going to play this clip for everybody. It is Trump from yesterday, basically dismissing the 200,000 people who died of COVID-19 making it seem like, we're not doing too bad. I'm like, no, bro. Like, these people are dead, and they're dead because you didn't take it seriously. So it's not that he's just bragged about being able to kill somebody on Fifth Ave. It's that he's been able to get away with killing 200,000 Americans, the majority of which would not have died, right? I always say maybe 30 to 50,000 people would have died because of COVID-19, because it's a novel virus. We didn't have any treatment, any vaccine, any therapeutics. So it's a possibility that
we didn't know it.
That at least maybe 30 to 50,000 people would have died. That's a possibility.
Right.
But the 150,000 on top of it, that's because Donald Trump's negligence. Jeff, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, but the audience will.
Hear that, actually.
Okay, so I'm gonna play it now for everybody to hear, and let me take me off the screen, and I'm gonna take you off the screen. Listen to this maniac.
Oh, the disease, we didn't know it. Now we know it. It affects elderly people with heart problems and other problems. If they have other problems, that's what it really affects. That's it. In some states, thousands of people, nobody young, below the age of 18, like nobody. They have a strong immune system. Who knows? You take your hat off to the young because they have a hell of an immune system. But it affects virtually nobody. It's an amazing thing. By the way, open your schools. Everybody open your schools.
My apologies.
The disease, we didn't know it.
I didn't know the volume was that loud, so let's try it again.
Now we know it. It affects elderly people with heart problems and other problems. If they have other problems, that's what it really affects. That's it. In some states, thousands of people, nobody young, below the age of 18, like nobody. They have a strong immune system. Who knows? You take your hat off to the young because they have a hell of an immune system. But it affects virtually nobody. It's an amazing thing. By the way,
virtually nobody, bro.
Virtually nobody.
And I'm like, 200,000. In V for Vendetta, it only took 80,000 for him to realize he needed to overthrow the government. We're at 200,000. Virtually nobody. It's not just 200,000. It's 200,000 that they're laughing about still. Right. Like, virtually nobody. Like, bro, death is so permanent. Like, there's teenagers who have died, small children who have died, a lot of doctors who are in their residency at the beginning, like in their their late 20s, like they're gone, they're dead, their entire lives are dead, and this man has said virtually nobody has been affected by this.
And it's almost like we're desensitized to this now. That's probably the worst part of it. Like, we're desensitized, not you and me, but like, I think it feels like there's a significant part of the country that's desensitized to the death. Then they hear 200,000 inside there, like, oh, well, what are you going to do? And then, of course, you have the hoaxers that are like, it didn't actually happen. They died of a car wreck or a bullet to the head, and they just had COVID-19, which is completely fake bullshit. And it's frustrating as hell. But let me give you an example of one of the people who died. Who got really, really sick from this, but was not an elderly person. Do you hear about the 21-year-old man in Florida?
With the heart attack?
Yeah. No pre-existing conditions. This might actually be a different person, but his organs were shutting down.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And nearly died as a result. So
wow.
This virus is no joke. But Donald Trump's joking about it. And look, Donald Trump knows. And that's the thing. You can call him an idiot because he's probably the dumbest person on the planet. But he knew. He knew about this. Like, you've heard the tapes of Bob Woodward. He was talking about
he
this.
knew.
He's
he
like,
knew
oh
exactly
man,
what
this
it was.
is pretty serious.
He knew exactly what it was going to be.
Horrible. It's tremendously bad. And
hold that thought, Jeff. Hold that thought for me. I want everybody who's on now to go over to your page. I pulled it up on my phone. And follow your Twitch page. It is twitch.tv/ is it Jeff_Waldorf?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's on the screen now. Go over there and subscribe to my boy, or follow. I don't know the precise language. I think subscribe is the paid option. What is it? Follow? How does this stuff work?
Just hit the heart icon.
Gotcha. Okay, so I've followed you already. I just followed you this morning. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to go over there and follow you. Do you promote it on Twitter?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, I've been shamelessly promoting it on Twitter, so that's how I got the 400 that I have. I'm gonna have to shamelessly plug it everywhere for me to get over 1,000. So
Yeah.
jump out there and do your thing. But go ahead. You were saying about Trump.
I mean, he treats this as basically as a game, right? It's nothing more than politics for him because he don't care about the people. He said earlier, according to an ex-Pence aide, that maybe it's a good thing I don't have to shake disgusting hands. Like that's what he thinks Trump voters thinks they're disgusting. He's a germaphobe. So he was like, oh well, maybe it's a good thing because I don't have to go out there and touch the gross people. By the way, vote for me because I'm a representative of the common man. Bullshit. Total bullshit.
Brenda Juna, I'm trying. I thank you for telling me he was low. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get these levels nice and balanced. I had you too low at that time, so oddly enough, that's weird. Somebody, you can call me Jess. I'm going to put it on the screen again. She said there was a 19-year-old college football player, had a complete workup from the university and got a clean bill of health. A week later, came down with coronavirus and died that week. I mean,
Jesus.
You know. So the rest of our shows are gloom and doom, man. Tell me about something else you're doing that's like not gloom and doom. Like you're gaming. What are you doing? What are you doing to keep your head about you during this pandemic?
Basically, I do a lot of gaming. I do a lot of gaming. I talk to my friends online, of course, and that's about it. Spend some time with the wife when I can, and that's. I actually have this weird ability to handle doom and gloom better than other people. I don't know what it is.
It's part of our jobs, though, right? You got to process it. But we can't process it. Thank you, Washa, for putting it in the chat. She put your link in the chat, so everybody go over there and follow my boy. I think part of our job has to be to process this stuff on a level that other people can't, because otherwise we would have snapped a long time ago.
It's true. It's very true. Breaking things down and maybe, doing the shows, doing what we do is in some ways therapeutic. Because we get to talk about this and, we get to, like I said, relay it to people. And I mean, I guess it just helps me to get it out, to talk about it, to sometimes rage about it. And it helps people because what we do, I mean, we know we help our audience to try to process it too. So we're all kind of going through this process together.
Yeah. No, it is. It's funny you say that. I think for people like you and me, we do this as for our own therapy.
Right.
Like, I think if I wasn't doing this, I probably would be in jail because I would have beat somebody's ass or shot somebody or something. Because if you don't process it in the proper way, you rage. And so what we do is we rage every single day. For like 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours a day, we rage. And so by the end of the day, we've gotten all that out. What I've had to do on top of getting it out in terms of talking about it on the podcast, I've had to add like some exercise on top of it because, you get so angry. I don't know if this ever happened to you, but like I used to get so mad that I physically could feel it. I physically could feel the rage, and then I was like, okay, it's time for me to do some exercise here. And what I used to do back in before the pandemic, I used to drink it away. I just go to a club, go to a bar, get me like 4 shots of Patron and party and have a good time, and that was my way of coping with it. But like I'm 40 now, and not only am I just too old to be on that scene, not really, but I am. My check engine light is going to come on here soon. So there's no need for me to be putting poison in myself trying to deal with these things. So most of my pandemic has been exercising. And
that's good for you, though.
And it is. It's been a blessing, really, man.
Yeah, exercise and I don't really get along all that well. We should, I should probably get more acquainted with it.
Get you a boxing bag.
I bought a bicycle.
Oh, that's dope. That's good.
Yeah, I just got to get out there and I gotta ride it. We've got some trails by my house, and
I'm gonna show the audience something. My knuckles look like wildebeest, like King Kong, because I box without a boxing glove.
Woo.
and I boxed the punching bag, and I'm not happy about how they look, but this is just a natural, like, so I would say, like, I think it's the boxing bag, because I can visualize people's faces. Like, I've beat the shit out of a couple people a whole bunch of times, and that keeps me going down there every single day. So I actually do go down and I rage, and I boom, bang, 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 and busted my knuckles quite a few times, but I keep going back. So you should try that, because before that, I had been trying for 10 years to lose weight, man, and nothing worked until I got that boxing bag. So you should give that a try. And it's not an expensive one. I think it's a fairly inexpensive, like, I think it was like $180. In terms of boxing equipment, that's inexpensive, because they lose their mind on some products.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been doing is I've just been, trying to eat less, basically. I try not to overdo it, because I think that's one of the things that I like to do. I'll just love to snack. Love to snack, love to have big meals. Not a good thing.
Wait, somebody said, Ben, if you don't know, Central Committee has become one of the pillars of the left Twitch over the past year, one of the bigger streams here now. I didn't. Thank you for filling me in. Glad to have you in the stream, my friend. Let's see, I got a bunch of things here. Low Jinx says they need to get a boxing bag. I would say do it. Like, even if you get one of those, right, you can get one for like $70. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I've been saving. The best thing about this terrible time is it has trapped me at home, and because I'm home, I'm not spending $300 a month in gas, and I'm not spending $1,000 a month eating out with the family or going out and partying or whatever. And so I've been able to save for the first time in my life. And so I saved up and got the boxing bag. Then I saved up, and I was going to buy an Oculus Rift. But, I crossed, Oculus Rift, one of them cost like $900, and I had saved. I was going to buy it. And I was like, you know what? Let me buy this treadmill. So I bought a treadmill instead. And so it's just been, right? I made the right kind of choice for the first time in my life. Let's get everybody else comments on here. No, go ahead. You chat.
No, it's funny because, you're making good choices, and I'm like, I got to get a fucking PS5.
I know that's kind of family budgeting, but think of it this way. The reason they're pushing so hard for us to go back to work is because they need people like me and my wife who couldn't cook at home to go out there and spend that $600 extra every month at those restaurants. So they need us to participate, and that's why everything is so hectic and chaotic. And so when this coronavirus slowed everything down, it was like, well, we've only eaten out, takeout, like, we don't go sit down anywhere. We take out four times in 7 months. Right. So it's been a really good discipline in living a slower life. And I know I hate to talk about positive things in the coronavirus, because so many people are dying and hurting. But we're sheltering in place.
Yeah, we haven't really been able to slow down. I mean, for me, just like you, work from home. My wife, she's in the healthcare field. So
yeah, oh man, wow.
She takes care of disabled adults. So in an adult foster care home. And so she hasn't, had any time off. She's like, my schedule is pretty much normal. I go to work, I take care of people for, 8 hours, and then I come back home. Wow. My schedule, same as always.
Wow.
So no change in our household at all. And unfortunately, my wife's schedule is the way where she'll get home at, midnight and stop off and get fast food on the way home, because after those hours, she don't want to come home and cook. Right. And she doesn't really do most of the cooking anyway. I do, and I'm not up that late. For sure.
So when you said earlier, because I was going to ask you, you said you try to spend some time with your wife. Your wife is still out in the fields, working.
Yep.
Is she relatively safe because of the demographic that she serves, or is she still at risk?
Well, I mean, she's in a type of nursing home. So, but thankfully, in our area, Michigan, the governor's actually done a pretty good job at trying to contain coronavirus. And originally it was kind of bad here, but Wayne County is the place that was hit the hardest over near Detroit. We're nowhere near that. So we're kind of in the middle part of the state. which has not been hit that hard. And I'm very, very thankful that it hasn't. When I do go out, wear my masks, practice that social distancing. Unfortunately, at the same time, a lot of people here don't think it's a big deal because it hasn't really hit it.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you what pisses me off. Let me tell you what pisses me off. When I ventured out, so when I was setting up my new studio in my office, I did the wall. I had to patch up the wall and did the painting and the shelving and everything. So, I was going back and forth to Lowe's a whole bunch.
Right.
And Lowe's was pretty decent about doing drive-through or drive up, and they would bring it out. But a couple of times I had to go inside. And what pissed me off about going inside is that when you see 90% of the people wearing masks, and then there's just that one or two or three fucking assholes who refuse to put on a goddamn mask, and they could then infect everybody in there that's doing their part. That shit pisses me off.
No, you're absolutely right about that. And I see that happen, unfortunately, quite a bit around here. Went to the gas station the other day to fill up. A couple people without masks. I'm like, motherfucker. and then,
bro, you should see me at the gas station. Like, no joke. The first time I went to the gas station after we started quarantining was back in March. So I started self-quarantining in February 27th.
Right.
And we didn't go anywhere for a whole month. Like, we didn't go anywhere. So by March 27th, we had started driving around a little bit, and I needed to put gas in the car. Man, I masked up. I put on 2 masks. I wrapped my body up. I put on goggles. I had gloves on, and I had some wipes, some alcohol wipes, along with a spray bottle of alcohol. I'm spraying down the gas tank, the handle, not the gas, but I'm wiping off the Lysol in the punch pad. And I was like, man, I look like something straight out of the Book of Eli. That's what I look like. I look like the Book of Eli wrapped up and ready to go to war. And then I'm looking around, and there's other motherfuckers who just have nothing on, like they didn't even care.
Yeah, like for me, going to the gas station, I didn't quite wrap myself up quite that much, but I had my mask, I had my hand sanitizer, I touched the gas handle and all that stuff, and then, get that hand sanitizer out, and I'm good to go.
Some mask, man. You run into some Jim Bobs or Sue Ann's or whoever who don't wear. And see, for me, I don't know how to tweet this yet. I'm trying to get the words for it because I don't want to sound like a complete asshole. But I don't mind that too much. But at the time, back in March, we were still living in Georgia, and the only people not wearing a mask in Georgia were white folks, and you just know that they're Trump supporters, right? And so anytime I see a person not wearing a mask, now I automatically assume, you're a racist and you want to kill me. That's what I say. I'm like, you're a racist and you want to spread your virus. And I know that's not like fair, but in the day, them spreading the virus ain't fair either. I feel like you have a certain mindset, you have a certain philosophy, you're aligned with a certain ideology, and that ideology at best is complicit with racism. So I skip all the logical connections. I do have some logical connections to make that assumption, but I just make the sentence like, if I see you out and you're not wearing a mask, I automatically think you're a racist.
Yeah, like I said, anytime I go out, I wear the mask and I make sure to social distance, and I got my hand sanitizer, and I try not to make the biggest deal out of it. You know what I mean? But I try to be careful, and that's really what we're asking, is just for you to have some common courtity and to be careful, and that's it. You know what I mean?
What if I could block
and there are people out there that can't even manage to do any of that. That they just don't give a goddamn about anybody else. They don't care.
Pure selfishness, man.
It's pure selfishness.
Pure selfishness.
Absolutely. And then again, going back to the Trump clip, they're laughing about it, and he's proud. He's like, I didn't want to create a panic or anything like that.
What's crazy is that they're dying. Their friends, their family members, they're the ones that are dying too. It's not just black folks that are dying from this. Like, there are plenty of Trump supporters who died from this. And the fact that they're laughing and they don't even care about their own family members. Have you seen the clip of Michael Shore interviewing?
Yep.
I want to play that for the audience real quick, but I want to put somebody on a timeout in the chat room. They're doing the most. I'm Jesus is King. What's your name? Ye boy Yerrick. I'm Christian too, but bro, chill out. Wait till Sunday morning to do that. We talking about other stuff right now. Hang on. For some reason, his name ain't coming up in the chat. All right, whenever I find him in the chat, I'm gonna put him in a nice timeout. In the meantime,
Yep, I see him.
That's why I should put some. I need to go ahead and set up some moderators real soon. Apparently,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up the Michael Shore. How do you spell Shore, by the way?
SHURE.
Okay, so it's Sure, Michael Sure, TYT Trump masks, and I want you guys to just see how utterly ridiculous these people are.
The writing.
It's embarrassing, but it's also depressing.
Safety. It's actually about control.
Okay, hang on, give me a second. Pull it up on the screen like that. I'm gonna drop you and me off the screen, and then this is from TYT, so I don't think they'll mind if I play it. Here we go.
And the mask, and it literally says on the box of the mask, it doesn't stop the virus. It decreases your oxygen. It allows you to breathe in your own CO2. You need oxygen to stay healthy. You need oxygen to fight viruses. So when you're wearing a mask, scientifically, it is actually lowering it's increasing your risk of actually catching a virus.
Scientifically.
When
Wow.
you hear Dr. Anthony Fauci, for example, who's on the Vice President's Health Commission on COVID, say that by wearing a mask you're helping to stop the spread, what do you think of that?
He's a liar
And why is that?
because I don't believe in numbers.
People die.
I don't believe in
about
numbers.
40, 50,000 every month in the United States, and most of these are probably people that were going to die for some reason, and just
Now,
because
you know
they
his
had the
ass
virus in their system, it's listed
has
as
some
a death.
pre-existing conditions.
So I'm not buying it. I don't think there's near as many deaths.
No, sir, I don't wear a mask. Never have. I don't plan to. I know 2 people that have died from COVID, so I know the virus is real. But if someone is in such dire condition that they are afraid that they're going to catch it, they need to stay at home anyhow.
I agree with her on
Because,
that.
and I'd say that to my mother. In fact, my mother's 94 years old.
But you
Watch
mentioned
this.
it. What if you could actually bring it to her? Does that give you concern that you should wear a mask around her ever?
Well, no, I don't.
What?
Because, like I said, I think that they've blown the entire thing out of proportion.
What do you think of the president's handling of the
All right, let's bring us
coronavirus?
back
I
up.
think he's done a fabulous job.
Fabulous job. 200,000
Trump has
people
done
dead.
all he could do.
Ugh,
Really? He did?
Trump has done all he could do, bro.
Really?
I like what winners and losers said right here. I'll put it back on the screen. He said, "Why does stupidity pair so well with confidence? It's like a fine wine with the perfect steak. It always goes hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
But I think what is it? Dunning-Kruger is one of those effects where people are so confident in their stupidity because they don't realize they're stupid. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it should be like the Sixth Sense effect. You know what I mean? Like, people don't know they're stupid. I'm surrounded by stupid people who don't know that they're dumb.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by dead people who don't. Okay, yeah, I get it. I get
The
it.
Sixth Sense effect.
That's exactly the truth, man. Hey, Jeff, man, I don't know if I interrupted you in the middle of your production day. Are you done with your production, or I need to? Let you get back
Not
to
yet.
it?
Actually, I'm gonna have to duck out here. Real soon.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming in. Everybody, go over to Jeff's channel. It's twitch.tv / give it to him.
Jeff_Waldorf, WALDORF. Thank you for those who have linked in the chat and those who've given a follow. You know, I like to do some gaming streams. Maybe I'll start streaming the show on there as well, so you can check that out as my YouTube show. Yeah.
Dope,
And
man.
follow me.
Hey, follow him on Twitch, follow him on YouTube, and Twitter definitely. And hey, man, anytime you want to come back, just let me know, because like I said, I just kick it on here. Nothing formal.
Love
and
it.
I'd love to have you back, man. Appreciate you coming
I
through.
love these relaxed conversations too.
We need them, man, because otherwise, listen, in between, and I'll let you go, but in between how serious things got this summer,
Yeah.
and how authoritarian Donald Trump got, and how unchilled I was this summer,
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was ready to march up the Capitol steps with a big flag on a big banner, burning that bitch, put on my Fidel Castro hat, light up a cigar, and let them arrest me. So I think it's best that I come outside.
Yeah.
And let my kids will be out in a minute jumping on the trampoline, because if we don't chill doing this work in this era, like, we know how to process it up until this point, but this is a new thing. We're in a new season right now. So Jeff Waldorf, thank you so much. I know I messed it up. I'll see you next time, man. Take care. Good luck on the show today.
Yeah. You have a good one. Thanks for having me on,
man.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and support The Benjamin Dixon Show. If you like this episode, be sure to share, like, and subscribe.